and go. Highway to the danger zone. Right into the danger zone. Heading in the twilight, spreading out your wings tonight. She's got you jumping off the track, shoving it to overdrive. Highway to the danger zone. I'll take you right into the danger zone. You'll never say hello to you till you get it on a red line overload. You'll never know what you can do until you get it up as high as you can go. Out along the edge is always where I burn to be. The further from the edge, the hotter the intensity. Highway to the danger zone. I'll take you right into the danger zone. I'll take you right into the danger zone. Right into the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. Right into the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. Right into the danger zone. Right into the danger zone. Right into the danger zone.
Hey, everybody, it's the top of the hour. Even a virtual comedy theater doesn't start on time, though. So, why not take this opportunity to grab yourself a snack, get something to drink, share out the link with your friends and family who aren't already in the stream, because the Suzette Veneti show will begin in about 2.5 minutes.
To include everyone, I'll tuck you in, warm within, keep you free from sin till the Sandman he comes. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light, enter night. Take my hand, we're off to Never Never Land. Yep. Something's wrong, shut the light. Heavy thoughts tonight, and they aren't Snow White. Dreams of war, dreams of lies, dreams of dragons, fires, and the things that will bite. Yeah. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light, enter night. Take my hand, we're off to Never Never Land. Now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the soul to keep. If I die before I wake, It's just a beast under your bed, in your closet, in your head. Exit light, enter night. Take my hand, we're off to never, never, never. Exit light, come on. Enter night, grain of sand. We're off to never, never land.
Welcome to the virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. Please welcome to your screen, Suzette Veneti.
Think you're hot shit, ooh, I love it, yeah, yeah. Stumbling, but yeah, you're still looking hella fun. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll make you mine. Well, you're a hot mess, and I'm falling for you, and I'm like,
Hi everyone, it's 5:03, which means it's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. It's January 17th, which means if you have any plans for Inauguration Day, you have 3 days. So, get your hats and your noisemakers and your banners ready, because it's finally here. Okay, cool. Welcome to the Suzette Veneti Show, a fantastic weekly streaming talk show where you're not really sure if the host knows that she's there. People are... laughing that Trump held a private meeting with Mike Lindell, a.k.a. the MyPillow guy. People are concerned that the MyPillow guy's notes were photographed, and they outline a heavily militarized plan to use weaponized force to stay in power and establish martial law. Apparently, this is just part of Trump's overall plan, Operation Sleep Tight. According to the plan, the first step is to slap chop our enemies. The second step is to flex seal the borders. And then finally, move on to the pillow fight for freedom. That's a good joke. That joke is amazing and terrifying, and I fully believe that Trump has seen Billy Mays cut a hole in the bottom of a boat and thought, that's my new Secretary of Defense. That guy can stop anything, even water. So, scary. Rudy Giuliani is making sure everyone knows he's on Trump's impeachment team, which comes as an assurance to Republicans and Democrats. Finally, a bipartisan issue that we can all agree on is good. Just the tip of the iceberg is how the FBI is describing the insanely overwhelming amount of digital proof of crimes committed in a terrorist attack at the Capitol. The FBI has over 100,000 pieces of digital media for additional leads after the terrorist attack last Wednesday. This was crazy in terms of criminals documenting crimes with proof that would later be used as evidence against them. I mean, there was the guy that was caught dangling from the balcony. There was the guy with his feet on the desk. There was the guy carrying the podium. I just have to say, some of you have never committed a federal offense, and it shows. Of course, some of the more simple-minded Trump supporters think that this riot was carried out by Antifa and or liberals disguised as Trump supporters. And obviously there's proof that this isn't the case, but I understand why the simple-minded Trump supporters would think that. What with rioters beating Capitol Police with thin blue line flags and the woman with the "Don't Tread on Me" flag getting trampled to death, and gun owners rioting the Capitol and then losing the rights to own guns, the irony is thicker than anything that Alanis Morissette ever sang about. So, of course, the simple-minded Trump supporters think that the maskless rioters were actually liberals who want everyone to wear masks. Tons of seemingly normal people are coming out of the woodwork explaining how they got sucked into QAnon. Experts are even impressed at QAnon's strategy of breadcrumbing people into the fold by incorporating every current conspiracy theory into their mission statement. They say if you believe one of the crazy conspiracy theories, then you're more likely to buy into the whole of the crazy conspiracies put forward by QAnon. This draws normal people in. Experts say that flat Earth, all Democrats are vampires, 5G is bad for you, rigged election, Bill Gates wanting to microchip vaccines, and that Suzette Veneti is a good performer are all things that are conspiracy theories that can suck people in. Wait, what? No, that's not nice. Trump, who must be coming to terms with the fact that he's lost, and with a mass exodus of his staff, cabinet, and political supporters, and his real-world contracts with businesses going poof, has stepped back from his duties as president. causing Mike Pence to step up and kind of fill the role as a presidential figure in the last week that they're in office together. When asked how he can still support Trump, Pence responded, "Stand by your man and show the world you love him. Keep giving all the love that you can. Stand by your man." Mike Pence, everybody. Annie Hathaway has come out and told everyone that she would like to be called Annie, Miss H, or anything other than Anne. So, hey, casting directors, if you're looking to book Anne Hathaway, I'm claiming that name and the roles that come with it. So hit your girl up. Joe Biden unveiled a $1.9 trillion economic relief bill to help get Americans back on their feet. Part of the plan is to deliver a $1,400 stimulus check to Americans on top of the $600 that previously went out so that Americans get the previously promised $2,000. Off record, Biden apparently snarked, "They call me Uncle Joe. Ha, they should start calling me Sugar Daddy." With all the Bitcoin out there going unclaimed, the guy that with the 2 passwords left before he loses millions of dollars forever, and the guy whose drive is at the bottom of a city trash heap, I just want to suggest that all the unclaimed Bitcoin goes to Anne Hathaway, care of Stab Comedy Theater. That's me. Now, dentists say that with almost a year's worth of evidence to look back on, this is easily the best oral hygiene that they've ever seen in their patients. Easily. Experts are attributing this to people having to smell their own stank breaths under their masks. And that's all I got. I'm going to show a graph really quick before I bring the next guest on because we might talk about it. This is a graph. Switch for Suzette, and there's nothing. It's supposed to be going up. I don't know if you can see it. It's handmade. Okay, cool. With that, I think that I hear the teapot whistling because it's time for tea. Peers and queers, join me in welcoming Clifton Ellison.
Suzette, another week of just foolery. And, this time I can't say it's all straight white people because some of my people have been acting a fool this week, too. Are you aware of Azealia Banks?
No, I mean, I'm aware of her. What did she do?
Girl. And, some people said it's a religion thing or whatever like that. And I'm just like, okay, girl. But this bitch dug out her cat from her backyard, put it in a pot, and cooked the cat, and posted it on Instagram Live. I don't think she ate it, but then people are saying that it's a religion thing, it's an African thing, whatever like that. But I'm just like, why would you post that? And why? Like, I don't understand the logic in this. And I'm just like, if you don't want people, I always say, if you don't want people judging you for things, you don't have to post it.
There are lots of religious experiences and what's the word, rituals that people don't post, like brisses, circumcisions, like for the Jewish people, they don't post that.
No, we don't post the extra meat on there, in a Ziploc bag after it's done. We just don't do that.
Yeah.
But it's just been a mess, child. And then, so, Beyonce, her sister, Solange, right?
Okay.
So Solange actually has a son who is, I believe, 16, 17. So he's in some trouble right now. And it's a Disney actress by the name of Sky Jackson who was just on Dancing with the Stars. She's phenomenal. She's talented. She's only 18. Mm-hmm. So I guess they dated for a little while. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because they were trending on Twitter yesterday. And I was like, usually whenever someone trends on Twitter, it's either oh or it's oh. And it was the second oh. So I didn't click on the link because I'm an adult and I don't want to go to jail. There's a reason why I said I don't want to go to jail, because there is a video circulating of Solange's son having sexual relations with Sky Jackson. And then come to find out, allegedly, I'm saying this so we don't get sued for the 7 people that's watching this, no one runs and tells the po-po. Allegedly, in my Wendy Williams tone, he posted that as revenge porn. And at first I was like, I don't believe this. But then I went on Instagram because I follow, I love Beyonce. I love that whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And Beyonce's mom is like my grandma in my head. And so whenever a celebrity turns off their Instagram comments, that's when you know some shit's going down. And she turned off her comments and I was like, ooh, girl, it's getting real. And then I saw screen caps of the conversation and he's just saying all these derogatory things about her and stuff like that. And I was like, well, little boy, how are you raised by 3 of the strongest women in this world? And you're going to sit here and basically ruin your whole life before you're 18, posting revenge porn. Like, who? Like, I don't understand. 1, revenge porn is disgusting. 2, these are children. So if you're caught sharing it or things like that, your IP address is, you can go to jail. I ain't trying to go down that road. And 3, Beyonce is your auntie. You have the world in your hands. So you're going to fuck up the bag before you can even get the bag. Like, I don't understand. I truly don't. So remember how we talked about last week about the rumors of Jeffree Star and Kanye West?
Yes, we did.
Well, unfortunately, those are false accusations, which I'm kind of happy they're false accusations because I just didn't really want. I don't like those people, but then those people combine and doing things, it just, the visual in my head just makes me just want to upchuck my lunch, and it's not pretty, it's not cute. In other news, happy birthday to 99-year-old Betty White.
Happy birthday, Betty White.
Yeah, I mean, Betty White and Cher, they're gonna outlive us all, honey. We're all gonna be dead, dust, and Betty White's gonna be sitting somewhere drinking some vodka out of a teacup with Cher in 2075 when the whole world is just gone and they're just going to be laughing and there's going to be like a weird laugh track in the background. It's going to be phenomenal, but those 2 women are going to outlive us all
easily and look good doing it.
When you have a pure soul like that, we got to protect her at all costs. Put her in some bubble wrap. Don't let her leave the house, because I swear to God, if I hear that she catches Rona from somebody, I'm fighting. I want to square up. And I'm going to meet them on the street. So, Miss Suzette, have you been watching any movies lately?
No. I mean, I guess I've been watching the MCU back because I wanted to get ready for WandaVision. But other than that, I haven't really watched any movies.
I watched that, but I don't want to spoil anything for you. But
no, I already saw it. It came out Friday. Spoil it.
It was a little weird.
I think it's good. And I mean, me and Dave is going to come in with a hot take. But I actually liked it. I like what they're doing. I like how they're slowly setting it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's such a love note to old TV shows, which like I grew up watching those because I'm a lady of a certain age. So like I wasn't watching them when they first were on. I was watching them on Nick at Night, when I was like younger. But I thought it's so like it made me want to be in one of those shows. So I think they're doing it right.
Speaking of old shows, you heard the controversy about Nicole Kidman playing Lucille Ball for this Desi Arnaz Lucille Ball documentary coming out.
I didn't hear controversy. I heard she's playing her, but why is there controversy?
Because a lot of fans wanted Deborah Messing to play her instead.
Yeah,
which I think that would have been a better decision, or maybe Apple Adams. I don't know, but I just feel like Deborah or someone a little bit more on the funny side could have played it. But I heard that this movie's not really gonna go on the funny route. It's gonna go on the more drama route because their relationship was very. It was low-key kind of the Caucasian Ike and Tina. Like he wasn't nice.
Well, it was hot and cold. He was nice, but he this is one of those times where people say like he was of a different culture. So he had Lucy, and he had like the house with Lucy and the kid, and then he had like another house with his mistress, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's okay because he's Cuban," but like we're not in Cuba. Also, I just want to say, Nicole Kidman, great actress, so I don't mind. Deborah Messing is funny, and if we're throwing local people in the mix, like Apple Adams, I could do it. Just saying.
Well, maybe you could throw a wig on me and I could be Ethel, you know?
Ooh. No, that's a video that we need to film. We need to film me and you as Lucy and Ethel. I have some news for you that I will break right now to you. Are you ready?
What's the news?
Brunch is coming back next week.
Yes, you must have ESPN because I was just thinking that in my head. And I know everything just opened again, but I know we have to get everything back up and running. But I'm excited. When is it next week?
It is the 24th.
Okay.
So we'll see you there.
She will be there. She will be there in flying colors. I will be there.
We just had to make sure we had everything, safe and ready, and got to make sure food is ready to go, and we're ready to. Well, Helen and Apple and Taryn are ready to go. We just had to make sure I'm ready to go, which I am. So, yeah.
Well, hey, as long as you don't pull a stunt like one of these new girls on Drag Race she's only been doing drag for a year or something, but she almost missed her first challenge because she's used to having 5 hours to get painted. And I'm like, girl, you signed up for a TV show that's been on the air for 13 years. You know what the fuck you're doing. Why are you talking about you can't do your makeup in less than 5 hours? It don't take you 5 hours to do your makeup, do it?
No. Look, okay, so here's the tea about me.
Chelsea!
Here's the tea. What, did she say yes? I can't see Chelsea.
Chelsea I wish y'all could see her face because the face that she's giving right now is just sending me right now.
She's like, Suzette needs 10 hours. Okay, so the tea about me is I would love 2 hours to do it just to make sure everything looks good. I can do it in about 45 minutes if I need to, maybe a little bit faster. And I have really been using this last month and then like the first part of the pandemic before we opened up to like I haven't been, it's not on purpose. I won't say it's on purpose. I'll say that like, I sleep into like 3 and I'm like, oh shit. I gotta do my makeup in 45 minutes. And then I'll do it really quick. So I can do it fast if I need to. And I just saw Latrice was saying this somewhere. I don't know where I saw her saying this, but like, good. What did she say? Good God, girl, get a grip. If you got 45 minutes, don't make sure everything is perfect. If you got 45 minutes, just pow, 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 hope for a soft filter and go. Get some bangs in front of your face. That's not why I have them, but I'm fine. I did accidentally drag mascara across my nose today and I was like, really? But you know what? That's a learning moment where you learn how to fix it real fast. You don't have time to go back and do everything over. You just fix it and hope for the best.
Now that I'm looking at you a little bit more, I don't know if the young kids will get this reference because, I too am a woman of a particular age. You are giving me Suzanne Summers, Three's Company tease right now with your hair like that.
I'm not going to be mad at that.
Like, you're definitely giving me that right now. And as I kept looking, I was like, Suzette is giving me something. And I had to like go back into the memory Rolodex, especially you brought up Nick at Night. And I was like, Three's Company. There we go.
Because when you can live with another woman and a man pretending to be gay who's straight but banging you on the side, why not?
Why not? Hey, the rent's cheap. Just don't tell Mr. Roker.
Look, if that's how you get cheap rent, somebody please, anywhere. I would love some cheap rent. Also, I don't have revenge porn out there, but if it'll get my profile high enough where I can be Lucy in a movie, go ahead and release that, somebody.
All we need is some hair dye and some wigs and some chocolates on a conveyor belt, and we can make it happen. So
we're doing it. We're doing it. You know why we're doing it? Because we need this to go up. We need this part of the graph to go up so I can get a switch.
Yes. We Suzette. Hashtag Suzette needs a switch.
Oh my God. Okay, we're starting it. And we're going to do a Lucy and Ethel.
Yes, because we got to get you on Mario Party, girl.
Oh, just Mario Kart. I don't know what Mario Party is. I'm too old.
Oh, it's all doable, girl. It's easy. I'll teach you. Okay, and I won't charge you.
Well, I'll see you soon.
See you soon, girl. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Bye. All right, peers and queers, that was Clifton Ellison. You can tip him. You can send him some coin. You can follow him on Instagram. Also, above my pretty little head, hair by Liz, by the way. Above my pretty little head, you can send Stab some coin. So go on and do that, because still closed, still pandemic. Still need coin. Okay, cool. With that, we're going to get to another one of my favorite people. He has a YouTube show. He's here 96% of the time, and he has hot takes, and I love them even if I disagree. Give it up for me and Dave.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like the use of the word takes, let alone being hot. And
Okay.
also,
Noted.
what do you agree with me on?
What do I...
You never disagree with any of us.
I
I've watched you know, Chelsea and other, we trash you right there, and you're like, you're right. You know,
That's
never.
because I agree with that. I agree with that.
Not one disagreement.
It's about WandaVision. I disagree about WandaVision.
I haven't even said anything on this show to Robert, who watches this show. I know Robert Best is the one who watches this, which I do. I appreciate the feedback I get after every show that you watch, Robert. No, I haven't even said anything about it on the show yet. I only said people assumed I didn't like it. I only let everybody know, for those who were a little bit frustrated at the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, that Marvel anime, X-Men and Wolverine are on Netflix.
True.
Just letting people know that there's something that's a little, and I don't even watch anime. I'm not the biggest fan of anime because it's always confusing. There's cultural references I'm unaware of, things, but I like some of it. There's a was it DC put a bunch of new shit on HBO Max, not new, but like a bunch of their animated movies, which are way superior to any of the DC extended universe on cinema. Everybody agrees on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years we've been saying, why don't they just get the guys who've made the animated movies to make the films? Yeah. I mean, I know animated's probably their more their wheelhouse, but yeah, I've time and time again, I'm really I enjoy the fuck out of their animated movies. I enjoy their animated films over Marvel's animated films. They have. But Marvel doesn't care about their animated films because they dominate the cinematic universe. And so, but then there's these Marvel animes that I just saw were on Netflix. I'm like, oh shit, I checked out the X-Men one. It's really cool. And then I checked out the Wolverine one, which I've kind of lost interest in, but I'll pick it back up when I'm bored and try and, whatever. But all I was saying, for all of us who've had blue balls for 2020, over Marvel not having anything released, all right? I'm talking Marvel blue balls, not literal. Because, we the last thing we left off with was Spider-Man Far From Home, which I enjoyed thoroughly. I get into a constant debate with at least one person who claims it was poorly written, and then they like the New Mutants, and that pretty much discredits their bull. I think you had him on as a guest, Oliver Graves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his opinion's pure shit, based on liking the New Mutants. So yeah, he's completely discredited there. And he actually poo-pooed WandaVision, saying it was bad, which I think the fact is that the last year what was slated was Black Widow in May, then Falcon and Winter Soldier in the summer, and WandaVision was in the fall, along with the what do we call it, the Immortals, motherfuckers or whatever. And so all that got, pushed to nothing. And now they kicked off this time with WandaVision, or they're kicking it off with WandaVision, which was supposed to be third. And I would say the detour from their action-packed, Black Widow and Falcon Winter Soldier into some weird shit. And these first 2 episodes would have been a nice departure from all the action-packed, stuff that keeps you watching, and a nice little change. But that's what they're kicking us off with. So I knew it was going to be boring. I'll put it that way. I knew that they were gonna start with this old, the old-timey stuff. End of episode 2 is intriguing, because it's, now we're kind of seeing a little bit, some of the weirdness go in there. They were just indulging in some of like the throwback to old TV and all that stuff, and they had fun with it. It was cool, but for somebody that's been, we've been, forced to not. I mean, it's been a year. It's been a fucking year. I only live for two things these days: Melvin's concerts, which is my favorite band right here, and Marvel movies. That's it. And so and now this Marvel TV shit for Disney. I don't really have much else that I care to live for. And after Endgame, I was like, you know what? Whatever. I've seen some shit I never thought I'd get to see in cinema. I'm good. And whatever. I'm not planning to live forever. And this phase 4 is going to take a while to get going. So, and it's going to have expectations be matched to the end game fucking era and all that. So I'm ready to be let down. And this is a good start for that letdown, I would say, for WandaVision, the first 2 episodes. It was a good kickoff to what could be an ultimate letdown of the next 10 years. I don't think it's going to be, though. I think they're going to do fine. It's just, again, this was supposed to be the third released series, or the third release from Marvel last year, and it's the first one this year. So I think it just was a choice they made because they're still trying to buy time for theaters to open up to try and get as much money as they can from Black Widow. And that's the big holdup right there. But ultimately, none of this stuff means anything. So, there's obviously, people are dying. There's an insurrection. There's, the NRA is bankrupt. There's all kinds of fun shit happening every other day. That kind of is more important. Who needs a Marvel Cinematic Universe when we've got the real universe that's going batshit crazy on a regular? I forgot that I watched Wonder Woman 84, and that the end of Wonder Woman 84 was pretty much the insurrection that was attempted on January 6th. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, these guys probably, they seemed like they watched the movie and thought it was real. But I'll tell you one thing, I was surprised it's popular. For the first time ever, one of my videos on my YouTube channel actually has a lot of views through no effort of mine. I made a stupid it's not even a sketch. I do some sometimes I work with this band Mordred, that's a Bay Area thrash metal band with a DJ. They're the only thrash metal band in history that has a DJ because they proved that DJs and thrash metal don't go together, but they do it very well. And they're good friends of mine. I roast them all the time with that bit, but they have me on. I've hosted their show. They do this online thing periodically called Acting the Fool or whatever. And they make sketches and stuff. And I wrote a couple sketches for them and made some some video content for them to use. And one of the videos I made was based on, I was watching Richard the Iceman Kuklinski videos. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a serial killer. He's not a serial killer. He's a mass murderer.
Oh.
There's a difference because he was a cold-blooded killer, but he did it professionally. He was hired to do it. He had a family. He had kids. They didn't know anything about him. If you look him up, they've got all these interviews on. They were originally released on HBO, but they're online on YouTube and they're all out there. And I watched these just because I was bored, and I checked out some of his videos. He actually inspired Stone Cold Steve Austin for the character of Stone Cold. And so he ended up, I was watching these, and there's a couple parts, not many, but if you have gallows humor like I do, there's a couple parts in them that are kind of funny. And it's not intentionally fun. He's even because he knows how twisted this shit is. He seemed to kind of revel in some of the attention he got. That's the thing that goes with all these serial killers. They got the Night Stalker thing on Netflix right now, and you can clearly see that Richard Ramirez was into his own celebrity of sorts because he would read the papers, and he gets off a little bit on the legend of what he was creating at the same time. And Kuklinski is one of those guys. And but again, he wasn't like a compulsive killer as much as he was a guy who did kill. He would kill with his reasoning, but he was also somehow, in spite of being a sociopath, managed to have a loving wife and kids who never suspected a thing the entire time, and did it professionally and whatnot. And so he was caught by the FBI. I forget how, but and so in these videos, what I did was I took some choice pieces and I intercut a Richard Kuklinski masterclass of comedy. I just say he was, like those masterclass videos. I just grabbed one of Steve Martin. They got a commercial of that, and grabbed some of the logo and all that crap. And then I just took some of the parts that I thought were horribly humorous in the thing, because he's also talking like there's one part where he says why he did something. Goes, yeah, that's why I threw that in there, because you were gonna laugh, like that kind of shit. And I'm like, oh, it's like he's teaching some class on comedy here. And I was like, oh, let me make a Richard Kuklinski masterclass of comedy. The shit now has almost 6,000 views, which is more than any of my videos. All of my episodes of like In the Meantime and all that stuff, they mostly cap out, or like in the initial release, anywhere from like, 50 to 70 views tops, and then maybe more over as time goes on. I've got more from like old episodes and depending on my guests and all that kind of shit. But and I make the show for a very small amount of people that enjoy them. I hate anything that gets attention. And how I even knew that this video was getting attention was because people kept commenting on it. And so the title of it, Richard Kuklinski Masterclass, I guess, because I saw that it had like 1,200 views when people started commenting on it like a couple months ago. I think it was like a few weeks ago, it had 1,200 views. Now it's up to almost 6,000. So people are Googling this psycho and finding this thing. And, whether I don't know if they get that it's a fucking joke. I don't really care. I'm tempted to take it down just to because I don't like people. And if they enjoy it, I don't want them to enjoy it. It's mine. So, so I don't know. There's something about it. It's kind of, that's what I'm saying. People are entertained by stupid shit, and that's why, again, as far as I'm seeing people really want to like the WandaVision, it's like it's that whole thing of like, if you've seen Me and Myself and Irene, where Jim Carrey explains his condition, where he forces his reality to become into a certain situation so he can make it more palatable. That's what's going on here. We've been so missing Marvel that we're just conditioned to be like, we'll take anything at this point, even the most boring opening episodes to a series that hopefully is going to open up, and everybody's speculating it's going to introduce mutants and shit. So, and again, this is really not that important.
It was just 40 minutes, and I think it's really going to get better. People do like stupid shit, though. So
it was better. I'll tell you what, it's better than the New Mutants, and that's where Oliver Graves can go, go fucking take his hot takes to the grave.
Did he like New Mutants?
He liked New Mutants. It wasn't like horrible. It's just, it was clearly another one of the Fox mucking up they could have released it 2 years ago and it would have gotten the same. It would have made more money because, people could go to the movies.
Right.
It would have made more money than it did in the pandemic, last year. Where it was just opening in drive-ins and whatever else. And like every movie they tried, like Tenet, which I saw in the theater when they were briefly open. That was really good. I enjoyed it, but it didn't have a chance in hell at doing any business while, in the current state of things. And then, I'm all for HBO Max releasing all their movies online. It's pissing everybody off, but I'm like, yeah, cool. I don't have to pay to go see it in the theater. And, I do love seeing things in the theater, and I'll go see these movies in the theater. I don't give a shit when things are open again, but I don't mind seeing them at home either. Well, I'm stuck here, so.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I just want to see Black Widow whenever it comes out.
That's what that's like, they managed, the thing I love about Marvel is they managed to make me give a fuck about characters I never gave a fuck about in the comic universe. That's why I am kind of like, if I do happen to live longer than I, expect, I would like to see what they do with the X-Men, because the X-Men were my favorite characters. Those were the only real Marvel characters I gave a shit about. And I watched them start off okay when we had no comic book movies that were good back in the 90s. And then I've watched them slowly be whittled into this Hollywood bastardized version that constantly doesn't listen to everything that everybody else does right with, other comic franchises. And it's strange because it seems like everything that Fox has proven to not work, DC takes notes and like, yeah, we're going to do that shit. And that's why DC keeps fucking up their properties left and right. That's the thing with the Wonder Woman movie. They had a perfectly good villain in Cheetah, All right, a long, you know, and even if you don't even pay attention to DC, you know that Cheetah's like one of her arch nemesis. But no, let's put her on the back burner so we can have the story of Liar Liar take center stage with this random bad dad wishmaster motherfucker who's now the main villain that doesn't even know he's really a villain and just gets caught up in shit. And then not only that, basically realizes he fucked. I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of this thing. You realizes he fucked up, says I'm sorry, son, and is absolved of all consequences at the end of the movie. He doesn't see consequences. He basically set the world to like almost fall apart, and then in the end he's like, I'm sorry, son, you know, and that was it.
That's how Christianity works, though, isn't it?
I'm not going to read that deeply into this shit. It's not worth it.
No, I know.
Not only that, but Gal Gadot, like we know she's not a good actress. She's not in anything else except these movies, and yet they've used her well enough to hide that fact. And then this was the first movie where they were like trying, like, let's all right, let's take a chance and make her act this time. And my God, the love scene, or not the love scene, but her goodbye scene with her and Chris Pine. That shit alone, just watch that shit on repeat if you ever have trouble taking a shit, because that thing will just make you crap.
I think she's pretty good in the Fast and the Furious movies she's in.
She was in those?
She was in I think 3 and 4.
Probably in 1. And they didn't bring her back.
She died. She died a hero death.
Good, smart writer. Yeah.
Anyway. I think Justin Lin.
So that's my rant. There's not really much of a rant. These are luxuries. We're lucky to be able to, you know, have these because there's a lot of people that are obviously not doing too well in this time and all that, and you know, so that I am grateful. I am grateful for these first 2 crumbs of hopefully will be a much more enjoyable phase 4. But I'm gonna go back and watch them and see, you know, maybe because, you know, like Mandalorian started off strong, and then I was really underwhelmed for like a good number of episodes, and then I watched it again with my nephew, my parents, when I was visiting them, and I enjoyed it a lot more the second time because I was able to watch it with the age group it was kind of intended for, you know, because those episodes, they're not meant for adults, they're meant for children with their parents. So it is like watching a child's Western. So anyway.
Thanks, Dave. I'm excited to see what you think after episode 3.
Yeah, so we didn't fucking disagree, all right?
We didn't. Not this time.
There was no disagreement.
Not today.
Not a hot take either. It was really just more of like that's really all that was. So
lukewarm serve.
Lukewarm. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'll see you later.
Maybe. We don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming today.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. Peers and Queers, that's me and Dave. You can send him some coin. You can give him a follow. If you watch his video, watch it on incognito so the views don't go up, so he doesn't take it down. And don't tell him you enjoy it. The one that he just made with the masterclass of comedy. But I adore him. Anyhow, the next guest, let me get this right. I'm stealing from her Facebook. Or the next contributor, sorry. She was once in a competitive karaoke team called This Is How We Do It. And I would not be allowed near that team. Peers and Queers, give it up for Chelsea Bearce.
Yay!
Hi.
What's up, bitch? How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, that memory seriously came up because This Is How You Do It came on the radio, right? Because I still listen to music from 1991. Not sorry about it. And it came on, and I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot that I was in a competitive karaoke league for years in New York, years. Like we would, like costumes, props, choreography, and we would ride on the subway with this shit, like legit. Like I would ride with trash, but I was making it into a karaoke prop because karaoke is life. I mean, I am not kidding. If you can't handle karaoke, even to go and be an enthusiast and enjoy watching karaoke, I'm not going to make you sing. Like, I'm not a monster. But if you can't enjoy karaoke, fuck off. I can't fuck with you as a person. Like, it's so freeing to me. I love karaoke so much. I was a karaoke DJ for 17 years, and that was in LA, that was in New York, all of it. So karaoke follows me. It's just like in my blood, which is a weird thing to say, but it's true. So yes, I was on a competitive karaoke league in New York, and it was fucking amazing. Hi. I'm so excited to be here. I'm just excited to see Steph's face. Steph Garcia is your headliner today. I mean, okay, relax. She's your interviewee. That's better. She's a headliner too, guys. She's really fucking funny. Okay, but I love her, and I haven't seen her in so long. So, yeah, let's talk about it. What's this wig? Is this new? I mean, excuse me, not a wig. You grew it yourself, duh. But is this new? What's going on here?
No, this is just Liz. Again, Liz. Everything is Liz now. If it looks good, it's Liz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't hate it. Don't ever lose this person in your life. Like, and Suzanne Summers, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes. And then Clifton found it, and I was like, yes, bitch, step by step, 100%, you look phenomenal. So, and well, relax. That's the last compliment you'll get from me ever in your life. Clifton did say, we don't need to post everything. And then you're like, oh, and I drug mascara across my nose. Bitch, keep that to yourself. There's maybe 9 people watching. You don't want all those people knowing that you can't do your fucking makeup. Relax. Tuck it in.
No one can tell because I fixed it.
I know, but then you told everybody about it. It's like, I mean, keep that shit to yourself. I'm just saying.
That's how I flex.
So, let's talk about it. First of all, Dave is absolutely correct. I never know what I'm going to talk about on this show. I never have any idea what I'm going to talk about. Dave is absolutely correct. People are entertained by really stupid shit. And I feel like our taste is going down while being in quarantine. Because now we will just laugh and be entertained by anything because it's like people living their life. Like, we're just so excited to see literally anything because we're all so fucking stuck. You know, like I was just talking about writing new material. Now
I am currently on a podcast with some friends of mine.
Why is she unmuted? Why is she taking my spot? Steph, I will hurt you to. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're fine. Okay. Woo-hoo! I just gave you love. Don't ruin it. Okay. All right. She's fine, guys. Everything's fine. Okay, we love each other again. But it's true. So I was just talking to someone about writing new material. And how, like, me being a stand-up comic, I would write new material on, like, things that I would do, experiences that I would have in my life. But we're all doing the same thing right now. Like, we're all like, oh, this mask is fogging up my glasses. And, oh, I can't, hug my friend. And, oh, like, I can't sit in a restaurant. Like, we're all doing the same thing. And so it's like, we can't write new shit on our existing experiences, right? So I actually went back and like looked through like my first 2 or 3 notebooks of comedy, like from like 12 years ago. And I was like looking through and I was like, I think I could make this a thing. And it's kind of fun, like to go back and it's like you, like picking up makeup. It's like, oh, whoa, what do you do with this? It's like trying to relearn something, right? Okay. So anyway, that was just something that I was like, yes, people are, okay, stupid shit. Let me show you stupid shit. I just posted this. Did you see it? You liked it. Did you see my latest cake?
I did. I liked it. Yeah, it's amazing.
That is ramen.
And now I want some noodles tonight.
I know. Well, it's buttercream. Don't eat this shit. There's so much butter in this. But it's, that's buttercream noodles and all that stupid shit. You make a fucking weird ass cake, dude. I had a cake go viral because I made a little dick out of fondant. That's not a lie. Like stupid shit. You never know what's gonna go viral. You never know what's gonna be popular. You never know what people are gonna share, what people are gonna love. And it's always the one that you don't think about. It's always the one that you're like, whatever, this is half a thought. And then it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's get into it. Let's begin my segment, okay? I just came back from a date. I went on a date today.
Oh, snap.
I know. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about dating, you guys. When you're dating, first of all, going into quarantine and this whole pandemic single, like the world is just like highlighting how single you are. It's just like you are alone. Like, I mean, it's like the world hates you. So, but then you're like trying to date, right? First of all these fucking dating sites should be free right now because they're just magazines, because you're not allowed to meet any fucking person on the planet. And then anytime you do meet somebody, I swear to God, I feel like I'm committing a crime. Like, I feel like I can't tell anybody about it. I feel like we're both wearing masks. We're walking around. We can't touch anybody. We can't do anything where we're like, it feels like I'm committing a crime. And like I'm doing something bad, like I'm like, you know, and like, God forbid I want to kiss somebody at the end of the fucking date. I mean, it's just like, are you kidding? Like, I feel like a siren's gonna go off, the fucking Hunger Games is gonna start. Like, it's bad. So anyway, I just went on a date with this guy. Okay, we met on Bumble. Okay, and we met on. Oh my God, there's another guy. Fuck. How long is this show? Okay, so this guy. We'll get into the other guy later. It's fine. Whatever. So this guy,
Or he'll
I met
get into
him.
you. I don't know. Either way.
He came to my town and we got food to go and we went out and sat by the water, right? We sat by the water, we had food and drink and blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. I'm surprised that cigarettes are still like a thing. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
I'm really surprised that cigarettes are like still a thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, to me, that's like someone still using a pager. I mean, it's like, I think we're past it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's so many alternatives to like cigarettes. And it's like, you don't know if someone is going to reek of cigarette smoke until you're in their vicinity and their mouth is touching yours. And that's what happened. I could have COVID right now. I mean, that's 100% possible. I could completely have COVID right now because I kissed a fucking stranger. And as soon as it happened, I was like, nope, delete and cut. Like, I'm done, right? And then, like, he's all about it. He's like, so what are you doing tonight? Are you like, can I come over? Can we hang out? And I was like, absolutely not. Because, nope. So then I get in my car and we like leave, we separate, right? And it's like, I legit was like, okay, thank you. Nice try, brush your teeth. And then he gets in the car and I still see his goddamn car and he texts me like, I'm so glad I met you. Like, I can't wait to see you again. Like, I've never smiled this hard before. And I'm like, what? Like, why? Like, I don't. And see, then I feel like a fucking bitch too, because it's like, then I complain about like guys not liking me and not wanting to go out with me. And then I do go out with a guy and then they're like super in love with me. And then they like send me flowers every day. And they're like, I need to rule your life. And I'm like, is there a fucking meaning? Like, I need someone in the middle who's not fucking crazy. It's like this. I want someone right here in the middle. And it's just I don't understand why it's so hard to find. I'm so sorry. I'm drinking an energy drink at 6:00 at night, which is probably a bad idea, but that's where I'm at. So
you got to get the taste of the cigarettes out of your mouth, and that's what the energy drink is for.
Baby girl, I'm not even kidding. He had teeth missing, but you know, here's the thing: is that the teeth that were missing were like back here, so it's like you couldn't see them in the profile pic. You know what I mean? And then he looks at me and he's like, "God, you look just like your picture. Like, this is so." And I'm like, you do too when your mouth is closed. Like, I mean, it's like and then like these were missing, and I'm like, and I'm not against that. It's fine. If you have fucking missing teeth, fucking own it. That's fine. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that should be like a segment in the dating profile. You know what I mean? Do you have kids? Do you smoke? Do you like drinking? Did you go to college? Do you have all your fucking teeth? Like, I feel like that's a fucking subcategory. I don't know why I'm so passionate about it. I don't fucking care.
Because you're Chelsea and you're passionate about everything. I like when he was in the car and he's like, I can't stop smiling. My first reaction was like, but stop, your teeth are yellow. I wasn't even there, but I know it's true.
Right?
Yeah. Where is Heather Weber, and is she free, and when can we do a dating show?
Okay, can we talk about this maybe, I don't know, not on the show? Like, we can schedule something later. But yes, she's at home. They're trying to get me to come to Vegas. I might be there next weekend. I don't know if I'm going to make it happen. Because here's the other thing that happens is I make a cake like this, and I show the cake, and I'm like, hey, guys, look at this fun cake I made. And then I get this influx of orders that are like, I want all this, and I want this fucking, and it's like, oh my God, like, I own my own business. It's just me. I do the ordering. I do the scheduling. I do the baking. I do the decorating. I do the pickups. I do the, like, it's just me. And I have a 4-year-old kid. You think my 4-year-old kid likes it when I'm just neglecting him as a mom because I need to bake fucking noodle cakes? Like, it's just like, ah! So anyway, yes, Miles and Heather want me to come to Vegas and hang out, right? But then all these cakes come in, and it's like, thank God I'm still working. Oh my God, thank God I'm still working. But it's just like, it's for me. It's all under the table money. It's all like, what? You think I have a business license? I don't have a fucking business license. Is this bad? This is too much information, I feel like. I know. Steph's getting mad at me. I say way too much. I can't stop. It's the goddamn bangs, yo. It's the goddamn bangs. Oh, my God.
Wait, your drink is called Bangs?
Bang, bang.
Oh, Bangs.
I know. I like that you stole my look today. That's pretty good. Bang Patrol, yo.
Anything I can do to be more like Chelsea.
Bang gang, bang gang.
It's written above. I touch it like they do at Notre Dame. I just touch it when I go under my doorway. Just be more like Chelsea.
Yes. Is it like it's a pair of tits instead of like the bull's balls on Wall Street?
Yes.
And you just,
Yeah.
you just touch
The
big
tits,
tits.
hanging down from the doorway. Also,
Yes!
also, your 4-year-old is not just mad at you because you're a neglectful mother, apparently, but because you're an erstwhile a wayward employee. Make his dog treats.
I know. Oh my God. It's just like, it's weird. Like it's weird. It's, I don't know. I don't know if I would call it a gift because I don't want to like suck my own dick, but it's just like, it's weird. Like I can't have a hobby. I do a hobby and then it turns into a fucking business. It's like it's just like my kid wanted to make dog treats one day and then all of a sudden it's like, now we have labels and now we have orders coming in and now people want dog treats. And it's like, oh my God. Can I just do a craft? Like it's like it's not a thing.
If you could suck your own dick, that is a hobby that all of the men in America would like to make
people
their
would
hobby.
pay to see it, and then that would be a fucking business. You see what I'm saying? All of it's a business. It's all a business. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm screaming a lot. I'm hurting my voice. I'm gonna go. I love you with all of my heart. Share my ramen post. I will.
I'll share your ramen post. I'm going to pass your love along to Liz. And
yes, do that.
I will. And I'll just try to keep being more like you. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Well, relax. Okay. Calm down. Yes. And tomorrow is Monday. So at 6 p.m. Pacific, you guys can catch my brand new game show, Who Wrote This Shit, on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube. So watch my, Steph, I want to get you on that show. You would be amazing on that show. So watch Who Wrote This Shit, you guys. It's my new game show. And that's it. I love you. Bye.
Who's on tomorrow?
Jeanette Marin is on tomorrow, and also my friend Jordan, who does a virtual reality character. He's going to be playing Who Wrote This Shit with me tomorrow. So it's going to be a very, very fun show.
6 p.m. tomorrow on YouTube.
Stop by, hang out.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Chelsea Bearce, everybody. Send her some coin, or buy a noodle cake, or buy some dog treats. But if you're going to go on a date with her, make sure you have all your teeth, or we're going to talk about it here. I promise we will. So let's wait for my document to come up. Oh, and it started right at the start. You guys don't want to hear the jokes again. They were good jokes today, though. Okay. From Roseville, this next guest is a veteran comic who is known for quick wit and ferocious sarcasm. She married a Marine, and they have 2 children that they didn't plan for. You may have seen her on Food Network's Worst Bakers in America, or on The View's Funniest Housewife in America, or on Good Day Sacramento's Nailed It series. On stage, she shares hysterical yet vulnerable stories about her life, including marriage, kids, and regrets about both. She has lost 2 national comedy competitions in front of millions of viewers on television, but she's not giving up. Yet. Peers and Queers, join me in welcoming Steph Garcia.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm feeling good. Everyone on today is like, you look good, Suzette. So, like, how could
You
I be
do.
mad? Thank you. Thank you.
You look like Suzanne Summers.
I will take it. Robert Best asked me in the Twitch chat if I have a thigh master. And I'm like, why? I don't need one. I have no need for it. So
Well, Suzanne Summers used to advertise those.
oh,
That's
no,
the-
I remember.
Oh, okay.
Again, I am old. I know I only
Oh,
look.
you are like 10 years younger than me, so like you're young.
Yeah, it's relative when you get that age, though, because like we both grew up with like about 28 to 32 channels, right? 10 years younger than me, they grew up with like 400 channels. So that gap's a lot bigger. Also, I just have to remind people how old I am. Again, it's a flex. Like, I will flex when I get mascara all over my face and fix it, and I will flex that people think that I'm 24, and really, I'm 37. So, why not?
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
I just turned 46, so
Well, I think
I'm
you look
feeling it.
great.
oh my God, thank you. I don't know. It's in my genes. I know that. My mom looks very young too for her age, but we got a pool a couple of years ago, and I get in the sun all the time now. So I expect to look at least 70 in the next 5 years. That's
Well,
probably what I'll look like.
If you don't, you can join Cher and Betty White in 2075, still looking good and living.
I don't want to live till 99.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
no, that's way.
Leave that for the Betty White. So, what have you been up to during the pandemic?
Try not to have a mental breakdown. That would be first. It has kind of changed everything, and it's been really difficult mentally. And I think that I have the tools to understand that, it's been a little depressive for me, but like I have my tools in my toolbox or whatever, and I have a therapist. And so I feel like I'm handling it a little bit better than some of my friends in comedy. It's been real tough for a lot of performers. We don't like to be isolated unless we're doing it on ourselves,
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. It's been tough. I work full time, and I can work from home, which I'm super excited for and thankful, because I don't know what I would do. I also have a third grader. So part of last year I was teaching, helping him with distance learning. I was doing my own job, and yeah, it's crazy. I really miss comedy.
Agreed. I miss it too. I get to do some virtual shows sometimes, but it's not the same. Have you done any like Zoom shows?
I did one Zoom comedy show, and I just felt it was too just too loud and too much. It took away from it the actual feeling of like a show, and I bombed. Like, I don't do well on Zoom shows, I don't think. And then I did another, like a pilot with another comedian, and I don't know if that's going to be out on his YouTube channel or not. And that was more of a show. And that was really fun. So I don't know how far that's going to go. And then I've done this, and that's pretty much it. But I do Zoom every day at work.
Yeah. No, I've had some 8-hour Zoom calls for work, and I'm like, ugh, at the end, like I want to move. Can I move?
Yeah.
But that's not true. Actually, you have been on some screens during the pandemic, on TikTok.
Yes. It's funny. I started TikTok last March, and my daughter she was living with us at the time. And she kept on showing me these TikTok videos, and they were hilarious. And finally I just joined, and I fell in love with it, like immediately. I'm a walking poster board, and I know there's privacy issues, but if you're on any kind of social media, I believe that you're going to have those issues as well. And I kind of found my niche. Like, I like doing these little few second videos. And one of them, I also like following people who are positive, because I think that finding positivity these days is difficult for some of us. And there's a group of like grown-ass men on TikTok that spread positivity, and they're deemed the smiley boys, and they're all over the United States. They live in all different states, and it's just so much positivity on TikTok. And so what happened is I started following them and interacting with them. And then one of them interacted with me and a video went viral, which means it went around 300,000 times. I think that's viral to me. Yeah, that's viral. But like you see billions of views and millions of views on these hashtags and stuff. So I love the positivity. And it's funny though, because like I've done comedy for so long. I wish I went viral doing a joke, but instead I went viral doing like a skit. Like it was a thank you and it was like a positivity thing. And I never thought anyone would really see it.
Well, it's like, it's kind of like Chelsea and me and Dave were saying, like the thing that you don't think is going to be noteworthy and be viral is like what blows up. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have jokes and like I can draw. Like I don't know if you can. I can't draw, but like it's something that you never expected.
Yep.
But that's cool. So did that get you a big following when that went viral?
Yeah. I mean, big for me. And like there's like 5,000 people following me now, which is huge. That's better. It's bigger than I've had on other platforms. And I don't think I do platforms as well. I have to be very careful what I say because of my job. So like I struggle and always have with the comedy part of my life and what's public and what I share and my corporate life. And every company I've ever worked for has been 100% supportive of my comedy, but I think it's because I almost censor myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that can be tough. We'll have to come back to that. I want to ask. Okay, so I really want to get on. I want to get on TikTok, right? And I keep having trouble figuring it out, and so I keep blaming it on the fact that I'm too old. We just talked about my age, so that's not really a good excuse. So what am I doing wrong?
How often do you post?
I only posted once, and I posted the same. So I wanted to like. I was my first post, right? And so I wanted to like just practice and like get the feel for it. And so I made like 8 of the same video from like different angles and like different rooms. But it was the same exact thing. And people liked them. And then, but somebody was like, are you okay? This is the same video as all the rest. And I think that scared me away.
Don't be scared. Delete one and move on. I find the best videos on TikTok are the ones that are authentic. It's someone driving and they pull over to the side of the road and they're like, I just had this message to give everybody. But that's the side of TikTok I'm on. Your content is going to decide and your followers are going to decide, and what you view and interact with is going to decide what you see. And there's all kinds of sides to TikTok. So there's the LGBTQ. There's baking TikTok. There's chopping wood TikTok. Like there's quite a few gorgeous lumberjacks on TikTok. And if you follow one or two of them, all of a sudden you're just getting flooded with it. And I'm here for it. There's comedy TikTok. There's, and then there's negative TikTok as well. So you can find whatever you're looking for. But I love it. I love the interaction. I think it's, for the most part, it's super positive. And I've gone more to just that and Reddit. And I don't really do Facebook hardly at all anymore. And that's my goal this year, is to cut Facebook off completely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that goal. It's hard. I'll say it's hard for me. I wish I could, but it's hard as a comedian and a drag princess to get away from that, because it's how we connect. It's how we advertise.
It is.
So, but as far as TikTok goes, my next question, you kind of already answered it, but I want to clarify. So I wanted to know what the difference was in cultivating an audience on TikTok as opposed to like finding your audience in stand-up. It sounds like there are similarities and some differences, though. Could you elaborate?
Yeah. So I think your audience on Facebook is going to be people first, and then their friends, and then their friends, and then depending on your privacy settings, and if you advertise it, people that go to your shows. I started doing stand-up before before social media, if you can believe it. I really did. And a lot of people would create email lists, and that was a way to build your following. So On social media, if you make it public, people will start following you. But I think social media has gotten to the point where it's not quick enough. TikTok is really fast. And you're just kind of checking in with each other, and you're not sharing pictures of your family. You can make videos. Some of those go around and they're viral and it's awesome. But TikTok to me is more of a vibe. It's more of a positive vibe. But I think that we probably think that with all social media platforms that come out. If you start interacting with them and you like it, of course you're going to attract people who think you have the same humor as you or what have you. And so I don't. It's cool now, but there'll be something else in a few years, I'm sure.
Oh, always. I mean, TikTok is just like the evolution of Vine, basically.
Oh yeah,
but,
for sure.
So do you find that, like, I'm assuming, knowing you, that you're not making content to try to get people. You're just making content that makes you happy, and then people find you because of that.
Yeah, right now, I mean, there's a lot of frustrations in the last year for working from home, parenting from home, not leaving my house, being an extrovert by nature. That's really turned me kind of into an introvert. But there's a lot of stuff that sucks so bad that I have to make fun of it. And I started doing that. Like I like the first couple weeks of quarantine is when I started posting, and it was basically just showing that I was going to get it done. Like I was so motivated to be like, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to teach him and he's going to have a schedule and then we're going to be over this. And it just kind of goes and goes and goes. And then toward the end of summer, it's me like doing a complete depression video because it was really difficult mentally. And I had some really dark days, and I ended up sharing one or two. And then I did a parody of Savage, and that didn't go anywhere, which surprisingly, because it's my favorite. So, but I'm totally forgetting what the question is, but I think you can tell I'm a big fan of TikTok.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Sometimes it doesn't matter what the question was. Sometimes the answer is bad. It's like the journey is worth it instead of the destination. Yeah. Do you think that your stage experience is a valuable tool to be on TikTok?
Yeah. My stage and my age. Those are the two things right now, because I've hit that age, and I think maybe it was because last year I don't care. Like I don't really care what I look like on film. I'm not doing it for followers. I'm doing it for shared experiences. Like something relative. I like connecting with people on that level. I'll always love comedy, and I'll probably always do shows here and there, but I really like the authenticity of sharing something in the moment. I'm careful about what I share, but I also feel like I've been as vulnerable. I haven't been as vulnerable as I can be, but I have to watch that because I don't know how much I want people to know about my life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I like making fun of it on stage and exaggerating things for the comedy aspect. But when you really get deep and like all the deep shit that people go through, I love the people who share it on TikTok. I think they're so beautiful and vulnerable. And part of me wants to do it, and then there's another part of me it's like I am just not ready to do that. I just don't right now have it in me. You know?
I mean, there's different tolerance levels of things, and like stand-up comedy is fun.
Yeah.
Some people will never do it. Some people do it once. Some people will do it forever, even if they don't go anywhere with it because they can't stop. Like, so it's this. I think it's the same with vulnerability. Like, it is for some people, and it's not for some people, and you can't hold other people to any sort of standard. Like, oh, you're sharing too much, or oh, you're not sharing enough. Like, we all share what's comfortable with us.
Agree.
Do you think that you're gonna TikTok as much when stand-up comedy comes back?
Yeah, and I'll include comedy in it. I think it'll open people up to a chapter of my life that is public and is for a reason. And I think a lot of my comedy is going to change. I don't anticipate on going back to a whole lot of my old material. This last year has created a lot of writing. And I think I have something. I think I have something that I'm working on that is going to be great, but also maybe positive, and people can learn from it too. So I'm kind of going to tread water in whatever kind of performance you think that is. I think my ultimate goal would be to have like a one-woman show. The John Lozano, is it Lozano? John Lozano. He did a one-man show about his life and made it it's like comedy, but it's also like really difficult because he had a tough childhood, and I did too, and I'm working on that. And I've been working on that consciously for the last 5 years, and it's something I want to share, so that maybe I can help. But I want to do it in a way that it doesn't take down people who are alive. I don't want to share that part. I do and I don't. You know what I mean? I know sharing that part of me would be amazing and cathartic for me, and probably others, but I don't know if I really want my family in a spotlight. So I think my comedy is going to give me that outlet. And I don't know, maybe I'll write a book. I've always wanted to write a book too. So I don't know. I've been home a lot. I've been thinking and dreaming and doing things, and I want to do things a little different going forward.
I think that's really cool and healthy.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest surprise you've had from TikToking?
From TikToking? Really caring about strangers. Like truly caring about the well-being of someone. There's a woman I follow. She lives in the Bay Area, Carmel, like Monterey, that area, and she shares so much of her life, her soul, and her feelings. And she's human, and she goes ups and downs just like any human does. But she shares a lot of that, and I'm surprised at how much I truly care about her. Like when she doesn't post for a couple of days, I genuinely worry, and I've reached out to her on Messenger, and just to let her know that she's made a difference in my life. And I don't think I've really done that a whole lot with Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. But I plan to do that more often. I think one of the things that I've learned lately is you need to say things while people are alive, not after they pass. I don't want to be saying stuff to my friends and family at their funeral or whatever. I want to say it now. And so TikTok is almost that. Like you can just, I don't know, deliver positivity in 30 seconds or 15 seconds or 60 seconds.
Yeah. No, I think that's really cool. And
yeah,
you're not like committing to a whole like Facebook, and I don't know. So you mentioned, we've talked about live comedy. What do you like about live comedy?
Oh, I love the nerves, the butterflies. I get anxious for every show. I don't get nervous. I get anxious. Like, I can't wait to get on stage. I miss that rush. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a rush. I miss telling a joke in a room where they're all being very quiet because they really are listening to they're hanging on every word. And then you deliver it and they lose their minds. Like that's the best feeling in the world. I miss seeing some amazing people in the comedy community, a lot of people who I care about tremendously. And I don't know if they're doing well mentally. This has all been really hard. Yeah, those are the things I love and the things I miss.
What do you hate about stand-up comedy?
Say it again.
What do you hate about it?
What do I hate about comedy?
Because if you love something, you also hate it. I hate that I can't give it
up. I hate that it. I don't think I hate it. I can't give it up. I think it's funny. It's almost like comedy is like another universe to me. It just is, and I exist in it, just like everybody exists in the world. But like the comedy world is so different, and just I love everybody in our area. I don't know.
That's enough. You don't have to hate more.
Okay.
What's the most interesting venue that you've ever performed in comedy?
Most interesting venue? Oh, baby shower. I was hired to do a baby shower, and it was in Rockland, and a really nice area, and I dressed cute, like just regular. I mean, I wouldn't dress in a dress to a baby shower that I'm performing at. I would dress in a dress to attend one probably. And when I'm saying dress, I'm saying like summer dress. And we go to the baby shower, and it's guys and girls, and they've got tables set up in this huge house, like someone's having a wedding. I mean, and it's a formal thing. Like the guys are wearing suits, and the women are wearing ball gowns, and like it's super intimate. It's almost like you're at a wedding, but it's just like, and I come out and I just felt very out of place. And that's probably the worst venue I've ever performed at.
They gotta, if your baby shower is a black tie affair, like that needs to be, they need to tell you.
They should have told me that.
Usually
and
you're like sticking.
And also, obviously, they'd never seen me. This is back when I had my information on a website called Gig Salad, and I would get hired for odd things, lots of odd birthday parties, graduations, but some of them I would do, some of them I would not. But they should have told me, but also they should have looked up what my jokes were. Like, you can just type my name in and find my jokes, because I don't have baby shower material. So I had a panic attack. That was crazy.
But it's sets like that make, I know for me anyway, it sets the worst ones that make me better, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't think that one made me better. I think that one made me better at saying no. Like I'll never do a baby shower again. I'll never do a bridal shower. I'm never going to do a birthday party or a retirement party unless you've rented out a hall and you have the proper equipment. Like, I just won't, it did help. It helped me in saying no. The ones I've learned the most at, I would say they're usually stages that have the bar in the same room as the comedy. So what I love about Laughs Unlimited, which is my home base, is the theater is sectioned off from the bar, and that allows the room to hear the jokes and the audience to laugh, and it's just better. Tommy T's in Rancho Cordova was always a struggle for me, but I think I learned more about sound and comedy than I did anywhere, because you have to compete with the bar, and the bar is actually up above the audience. So here you are above all of it, but you've got bar sound and then audience sound, and then you're hearing yourself. It's a struggle. It was a real struggle for me. So that's the kind of stage. There's another stage. I was just talking to Anthony K about this on Facebook. Fat Cat in Modesto was like crazy. Like, it was almost like you're in a boxing ring, and that's where you are performing, and people can stand around you and then sit around you, and then the bars are around you, and it is all just noise. And then you also have people up above you. And that one was awesome, and I feel like I did well there. But I also made sure those are the ones I prepared for the most. Those are the ones I would actually write jokes down and make sure that I rehearse them in my brain a lot before a show. So those are the ones I learn out the most.
I have never been to Fat Cat. Love Anthony K, but you did just give me like I don't use the phrase PTSD lightly because it's a real thing. So let me just say you gave me like a negative flashback. Haha. Have you ever been to Badlands?
No.
Okay, so Badlands is my home gay bar, and that's where we have brunch.
Oh yeah, no, I have been.
Okay,
I've
yeah.
been there.
Oh, you were thinking like comedy venues.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So Badlands. So
Yeah,
on
I've been
Monday
there.
nights at Badlands, and we've talked a lot about it on the show, because when you're a comic and you're starting out, you can go to open mics, and that's how you
Yes.
learn and get better. When
Yep.
you're doing drag and you're starting out, Badlands has the most wonderful show. It's called After Hours with Apple Adams, and it's on Monday nights. And that's where you kind of get started doing drag, because it's just like an amateur show. Anybody can sign up.
Right.
But like you were explaining, so it's not complete like four sides, but 3 sides of you. People can stand around you. There's a bar. There's a mezzanine.
Yes.
Like, so you
Yes.
are like full, like almost
Yep.
like Roman theater, and there's so much noise. And then on top of that, because this is where I started doing stand-up comedy, actually 4 years ago, like this week.
Wow.
Yeah. You think I'd be better?
That's
but
awesome. No, stop.
it was like so hard because there was so much noise, and even though I had a mic, I'm fighting the people that don't give a fuck, and they shouldn't give a fuck. Like, that's my job. I realized in that moment, it's my job to make them give a fuck. Like, they don't care that I'm telling jokes. I need to
Right.
win, like, these 3 people here. Like, it's almost like a board game. Like, I just need to take this territory, and then that one, and then that one, and eventually those people at the bar are going to turn around and go, "Why is everyone quiet but us?" And that's
Right.
when you win.
Right.
So like, emotions when you brought up like Fat Cat,
Oh.
because that was rough starting there. I
Yeah. I hear you.
I wouldn't recommend starting stand up there to anyone else.
No.
But okay. So I've been asking a lot. I've been forcing my questions in, and I don't like it because I just love talking to you. So this next one, I don't know what questions to write because I'm not a mother. But you balance being a mom and being a comic, in addition to having a career and being a wife. You balance all these things. How do you balance all that?
I take lots of drugs. Pretty much anything anyone will give me at any given time. No. It's tough. I felt like I haven't balanced it before. I started comedy when my daughter was just turning 5 years old. She's 21 now, and I hustled. Back in that day, there was no web, there's no internet to be looking at comedy. Like, that just wasn't happening. We weren't submitting stuff like that. We were actually getting packages together and sending CDs to clubs. And I had to leave her a lot, and I missed a lot. I mean, I didn't miss a lot. Like I only saw her on the week. I didn't see her on weekends that I was working. And as comedy got better and better for me, came a time where I'd have to turn shows down because, are you gonna go to your kid's birthday party, or are you going? And a lot of times I would go to both. I'd go to her birthday party, and for some reason I always had a gig because she's a Labor Day kid. So that 3-day weekend in September is always good for comedy. There's lots of shows available, and I would take them. And so I don't know if I balanced it that great. And then being a wife, I mean, there's something to be said to dads out there who truly partnership with their spouses like mine does. He's not babysitting his kids. You know, he never saw it as babysitting his kids. He saw it as, this is my hobby. This is my wife's hobby. She's going to go do what she's going to do. And I always made it for the really important stuff. But there were times where it hasn't been a great conversation. I've missed family gatherings. I've missed family events, birthday parties. And that was always hard. But the thing is that something about comedy fills me with like a feeling that like I can't get anywhere else. And I used to need it. And I feel in the past few years, I've kind of let go of that. And I don't need it as much as I enjoy it when I do it, but my goals aren't the same. Like I used to do it so that hopefully maybe someone would notice me and I wanted to get famous and then move the family to LA, and I wanted the dream. I thought that was my dream. And what happened is I got a couple shows. Like I got on The View, which was amazing. And I learned really quick, like that didn't mean anything. To me, it meant everything. It meant nothing to a lot. Like, I'm not going to be going and doing commercials because I got on The View. So my expectations were I just didn't have any. I just was going for it for so many years. And then I got on the Food Network show. But before that, in the background, I also struggled with secondary infertility. We were trying to get pregnant. So I told you I started comedy on a dare in like 2004, and our daughter was already 4 years old, turning 5, and we were trying to have a kid, and I wasn't getting pregnant, and that was it. We just kind of accepted that was going to happen, and it was really difficult. And so I put everything I had into comedy, and then I ended up pregnant. And it was awesome, but my kids are 12 years apart. So once my son came around, my priorities kind of changed. Like that's really what I wanted forever. But comedy sneaks back in and it kind of pulls you in. And I started doing it harder again. Like I started going to more shows and taking on more gigs. And then I got on the Food Network, and they chose me for a show. And I basically went to New York, and I was isolated from my family for 4 weeks. And I left, my little guy here, and my other kid, or our other kid, who's a little bit older. And it was really hard on my husband to be here and work full time and be a single dad for 4 weeks. Like it was very difficult. And at the same time, the way we were treated on that show was so bad. It was such a bad experience that when I got back, my goals changed with comedy. I no longer am doing this to be famous. I'm actually doing it for me. And it's cool. I don't feel like I need it anymore, but if I do a show, I want it to be a good show that's really meaningful and really like people leave and they laugh. They're like, that was cool. I want to be leave a good and funny impression on people. I don't want to just go do shows to do shows, you know?
I think that it kind of that ties back into what we were talking about with like TikTok. Like when you make videos, like you can't make them to be famous. You got to make them for you, and you want people to like it and to leave with a good impression and happy. Mm-hmm. This kind of touches on something. This is the 39th episode of this show, and we've talked about this over various episodes of the show. Like, you can't get into comedy or drag because that's the two worlds I have stiletto feet in. You can't get into either and think like, oh, I'm gonna do this to be famous. Like that's the wrong path to start out on. Like you have to do it for what makes you happy. And I think, I don't know. I think I'm glad that you found it.
Yeah. I think you can. I agree and I disagree with you a little bit. Okay. I think you can go into it because you want to be famous, and then you're willing to put in the time and effort. Okay. But if it's not genuine, if you're not doing it because it's meaningful to you, and like you're not getting up there and really telling jokes that are going to resonate with your crowd, whoever your crowd is, it has to be both. You have to be authentic with it, and it's okay to want to be famous. But you're right. Don't do it to be famous. Do it because you love it, and you knew that the minute those lights went on my face and I handled the microphone and started talking to everybody, and the minute I made someone like that room laugh my first time, I knew like this is what you're supposed to do with your life. Like literally, I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. It's the most comfortable I ever am is on stage.
Yeah.
No,
I'll agree. I'll agree with that caveat. It's so if you like, because I always tell people like I pathologically talk and perform. Like I can't. It's not like I don't need it. Like oh, that's sad. She needs to like talk. But like I do. I need to perform. I need to make people laugh. Like it's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
And if that's what you're, not that like that's okay for me to want to be famous then, but like if you've never liked doing that, if you don't like talking in front of people or performing in front of people, and you just want to be famous because it looks fun, like maybe don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you're not going, and what you can't do is get into it thinking that you're going to start getting paid gigs in the first 30 days. Like it literally takes I don't know anyone who had a perfect 5 minutes that hadn't been hustling for months, weeks, years even. I didn't have my first 15 minutes for 2 years. You know, it wasn't a strong 15 minutes, meaning sometimes I got the light and I wasn't done yet. You know what I mean? Like you perfected it. But yeah, you can't go in thinking that I'm going to do this for 6 months and I'm going to get famous. Like, no. Yeah. Probably isn't going to happen.
I don't get paid much, and I'm 4 years in. So, I think you got to be in it for the long haul, and you can't think it's like a get rich quick scheme. And just because you brought it up, in case we have anybody watching who's not familiar with comedy lingo, so correct me if I'm wrong, because no one would say I have a strong 15 minutes, but a strong 15 minutes would be like, oh, like every joke is like all 15 minutes are full of like goodness. And like, because some comics are like, I have 15 minutes. And it's like, no, you have 7. And then you have 8 minutes worth of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. I think open mics are a great place for you to find those jokes that are fire. And what ends up happening is you go up and you do these jokes, and then something happens that night and you add another one to it, and that one starts killing. So you put that one together with this one, and then you have an opener that's hilarious and a closer that kills, and whichever one's stronger is the one you end with. And then you put your other ones in the middle, and the one thing that I still do to this day is I now try a brand new joke right in the middle. But if you get them laughing and it's setting up and laughing and setting up and laughing, they're having a great time. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to tell you a joke where I'm going to bomb. And they're like, oh, okay. And they don't believe it. But then when you bomb, it's fucking funny. And then I pick up where I left off, and it's joke and then ending. And there's an art to that I used to hear other comics talk about that I didn't really see for a lot of years, but I have so much respect for it now. And I see, oh gosh, I forgot his name, but there's a fairly new comic. He's only been around a couple years, I think. Ryan
Goodcase.
Huh?
Ryan Goodcase.
Yes. I performed with him 2 years ago at Chelsea's gig that she has in Benicia. And he was fairly new, and he like blew me away how fucking funny that guy is, and real. Like there's real pain in those jokes, and that's the kind of comedy I like, but it's also the kind of comedy that's relative to people, and he's so good. I do this theater show twice a year out here in Roseville, and it's got like 500, and it sells out every time, and I had him on the next one. And he was like, well, this is my first theater show. And I was like, well, fucking go kill, because he's so good, right? But come to find out, I think he's been doing comedy for quite some time. And if you don't get out, you don't meet people who have that ability, and you can't, offer them to or tell them about other places. And God, I really miss that. I miss that camaraderie. It's Saturday night for me, so I'm a little buzzed.
Look, everyone is on this show, so you're good. You're in good company.
I am.
No, I miss that so much. And I used to have a weekly show at like Capitol Garage, and
yes,
and I was so excited and I told them like we need they were like, yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be 50 people every week. And I was like, no. This is comedy. This isn't a drag show. Like, we will be lucky to have like 9 and 3 and 6. Like, we have to build to like, but if we do it long enough, we will get there. And this will be amazing. And I loved just getting to work with so many people. Because like when you do a weekly show, like I could bring in 2 or 3 people a week. And I was so excited for the future, but they only ended up like lasting 2 months before they were like, this isn't working. And I was like, because you need to give it 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Like I talked to everybody.
At least.
I talked to everybody that started, because if you ask like who started Touch a Class, 75 people started it. And so I talked to everybody who said they started it, and I was like, what was the secret? And they all said like, you need a year. You need a year. You need consistency, and you need a year. And I was so like, that really could have been something, just getting to work and just bring like new comics to new audiences, and like, you know, just sharing like comics meeting each other. I miss that too.
And supporting the venues when they aren't working.
Yeah.
Don't just go there for free and like attend a show on a weekend. Bring some friends and show them what it's like. Bring your parents, bring someone, you know, attend the venues, like support the scene. And because it goes a long way. That's noticeable, you know? That's noticeable.
Yeah.
I feel bad for people who are running these comedy clubs and restaurants. They just can't be open right now, and it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is. Some of them don't need to be. Some of them need to be. Some of them, like Stab, are figuring out different ways to be open. So it's an interesting study. And then same thing with the performers. Like some of them aren't performing. Some of them like are figuring it out. Some of them are trying what they used to do any way that they can. So
I'd love to do a show at Stab when everything's back. I would love to do it. Does John Ross own Stab?
Nope, just Jesse now.
Jesse. Okay, Jesse. Love him. I used to see him a lot at the Sac Comedy Spot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, I'm sure you don't need me, but I will happily have you at a show here at Stab, because it's such a fun place to perform. Like it's
I've heard.
Super intimate, which I like. You know.
Yeah, I dig that.
I like being able to see everybody's face, even if the lights are low. I didn't
used to like that, but I do now. Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe I'm overreaching by thinking this, but I think it's like a vulnerability thing. Like I think, and that's why you like it now, because like it's like, I want to see you seeing me, and I want you to see me seeing you. Like we're in this moment together.
We are together.
Yeah.
We are together in this, and you're gonna relate to this, and I'm gonna make fun of it so that the next time you and your wife, like most of my material is gonna be about marriage and kids and stuff, but like when you guys get home, you're gonna be like, oh, that was funny, that you do that, you know?
Yeah.
So okay. I like that. I like dark humor, and I like humor that pokes fun at the fact that we're flawed. We are all flawed. If you can make fun of it, it feels less like a burden. You know what I mean? Like you can laugh at yourself.
Well, that's why I was saying earlier, like I got mascara all over my nose, and like
That's
I was
so
done.
funny.
I was done with my
Oh, yeah.
makeup, and I was like,
That happens all the time.
are you fucking kidding? Like what? And like there's like you try to brush it off, but that just makes it worse.
Yeah.
And you're like, I already powdered. What do I do? But yeah, if it's okay with Jesse, and I mean you'll be here. I don't know, but
Cool.
that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. You have a podcast.
Yeah. I tried to start a podcast for like 5 years in a row, and for whatever reason, most of it just me dealing with some mental stuff and like getting my life together and my boundaries up. Like really, I've been on this like journey since like 2016, and I just debuted in November was our first episode, and then we all got locked down again, so I haven't been able to have a guest here in person, and I don't like the Zoom portion of it. I kind of like the in-person thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be recording hopefully next month as we all get our vaccinations. Hopefully I'll be able to hang out and interview more people. But yeah, it's called Big Mouth Podcast. And the social media, I'm not really doing a whole lot of social yet. Once I start going consistent with episodes, there'll probably be a push for that. But if you follow me, like, I'm easy to find on Facebook. I'm easy to find on Instagram. But TikTok's where it's at.
We're displaying your TikTok. So because I checked, I asked.
Silly Stevie. It's a silly_Stevie. Stevie is my nickname. What my friends and family call me.
It's below you right now on the screen. We're
I know. Yeah.
I did want to say, I totally get it because I've done a couple of this show with an in-studio guest, and it's such a difference because like I can't see you right now. Like I can look at my screen and see you, or I can like look like I'm looking at you and see you. Yeah. And like just being in a space with someone, you get a better feel of like when to talk and when to listen.
You really do. Yes. Agreed.
They are selling a big plastic like separator at Costco, like a plexiglass one. So I don't know if you want to look into that, but yeah, as we get like vaccines and we get back out in the real world, like I want to keep doing this show and I want to have like in studio guests and like an audience. Like that would be
an audience would be so cool.
It'd be so cool.
And you just stream it live on your channel or on YouTube. You just stream it live at the same time. That'd be awesome.
Have to figure out why the audience would pay and we'd stream live, but I'll figure that out. Like, what do they get? But back to and maybe you'll come back because I love talking to you. So you'll have to come back. Back to your podcast. Sorry, I hijacked it. It's the Big Mouth Podcast. There's a show called Big Mouth. So you thought about that. That didn't stop you though. So why the name Big Mouth Podcast?
That's a great question. So funny thing, I wanted to name it Big Mouth Podcast in 2015. And I believe in either 15 or 16, I looked up the domains. I bought them all. They were like $30. They're like bigmouthpodcast.com. I think bigmouthpodcast.net. And I set up the Gmail and then, and the Twitter and the Instagram. So I was going to go full speed ahead. Well, I got really sick. Some other stuff happened. And then I had a complete like mental breakdown in 2016 and it was terrible. And that podcast has been put on the shelf now for literally the last 5 years. So Big Mouth, the show, it was not around when I bought those. And if they ever had a problem with me, I mean, I could sell them the domain. Like I think $1.5 million is very reasonable if they want to buy the domain.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, I'm kidding. Actually, the creator of that Big Mouth Podcast, he's best friends with the girl I grew up with that I'm really good friends with too, but they live in LA. And I told her to tell him if he doesn't like it or if he wants it, like I'll just give it to him. I just started my podcast for real. I don't mind changing the name. Like I'm not in it for that. So if that is being talked about, not today, but it's in the works. I don't know if it's going to be called Big Mouth Podcast forever.
Well, that's what it's called right now. If anyone wants to look it up on Spotify. Yes. How did it get started? You told me there's a funny story with how it got started.
Well, I had a friend in LA who was a comic out there who wanted to start a podcast with me. And I kind of started listening to podcasts. And then I don't think it's really a funny story about how the podcast was started. Just I knew what I wanted to do. I know what I want to do. I want it to be conversational and not timed and not really heavily edited. And I love the Joe Rogan format. He just gets on and talks about things that are interesting. And I think that I can carry a conversation like that. And I I love to talk. I have a big mouth. So that's literally why I named it Big Mouth Podcast. So yeah.
I like conversational things. Like I have the most fun on this show when it's just, and so that it was killing me when we started because I wanted to ask you these specific questions about TikTok, and I was like, this sucks. I'm breaking the flow of our conversation, but it's so much more fun. And I listened to your first episode, and it is just a really cool conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a therapist on there, and she's a good friend of mine, and she's a grief therapist, and we talked about setting up boundaries for the holidays and grief, and how, you know, grief affects everybody different, and it's not linear, and it's a really special that was my first episode, and a lot of people listen to it. Like, your first podcast doesn't typically get a lot of views. I feel happy with the amount of views that we had. And then we're going to continue talking about grief because we got a couple of people who wrote in or texted us saying what the episode meant to them. Like, it really touched a couple people, and we thought, well, there's got to be other people grieving out there. So we're going to continue that. I'm going to continue interviewing her for like a series, if you will. I don't know. We'll see how it goes once we can all start meeting in person again.
Like a spin-off podcast.
Yeah.
Big Heart.
Yeah.
Big Heart podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a good segue. So you interviewed a grief counselor, and you, at the top of the interview, you were talking about how you know, mental health is important, and then you're very open that you had, you know, mental health, like you said, you had breakdown in 2016, if that's the right word. Mental health is a big, important issue to you, and I think that's great. I think it should be to everybody, and we don't get to talk about it much on the show. So let's talk about mental health and suicide prevention. And we could spend hours probably talking about it. Like, we could have our own spinoff show where I asked you about this. But just I don't know. What's important to you when talking about these issues?
What's important to me is knowledge, people understanding what it is, and how their loved ones are struggling with mental illness, so that it takes away from the stigma. There's nothing wrong with your brain not being able to work the way it was made to work. My body did not work the way it was made to work. If a woman's, you know, we're taught a woman's body is made to have babies. Well, some of us can't, you know, and some of our brains don't work just like some of our bodies don't work, you know, and that's important. Both of those conversations are important. By the way, that's another series on my podcast, is with some infertility awareness and infant loss. These are things coupled also with mental illness that have a huge stigma, and the stigma is because you can't see it. It doesn't. If I had a broken arm, I'd have a cast, and you'd feel empathy for that. You don't see that my brain broke, or, you know, and that it's hurting and suffering. And a lot of people suffer in silence, and they don't feel comfortable seeking help. And you know, we have some dear friends who've lost you know, their child to suicide, and that's there's such a ripple effect with suicide. When someone commits suicide, there's this shock, the initial shock in the immediate family, but it ripples out to so many people. And I don't think that anybody would ever commit suicide if they knew what it was going to do to the people that they love. And I think that needs to be talked about more. Like, intrusive thoughts happen, and you're not a bad person for having them. We all have them, and some of us can shut it down, and they know, come on, I'm not going to think about that anymore. And some of us can't. Some of us, it gets on a spinning reel, and it just keeps playing and playing, and that's wrong. Something not okay. So why don't you go, you know, find something turn that part of your brain off. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel that those of us who have OCD, you know, or struggle with PTSD, depression, anxiety, it's so hard to remove the stigma from yourself. Like there's still shame that I still feel about not being able to handle it. One day I just couldn't fucking handle anything. And I literally went to the doctor. I knew well enough to go to the doctor because the thoughts that were coming in my head were not my own. Like they just weren't who I am. And I went into an outpatient facility and it was life-changing. And I learned about grief and PTSD and childhood trauma and how it can affect you. If you don't discuss your trauma in your childhood, it's going to come out somehow, somewhere, as you get older. And that a lot of times can be addiction and self-harm, mental illness. I don't consider myself mentally ill, but I struggle with the memories that I have of being abused as a child. And I don't think that I'm abnormal. I think a lot of us do. And some of us shut off that part of your brain that with alcohol or drugs or sex or cutting, you know, or suicide.
Or work.
And
some people do it with work.
It doesn't have to happen. I feel like I'm rambling. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh, yeah. I just wish that everybody could get the message that that doesn't have to happen. You don't have to suffer.
So, and this is a bigger question, and we're just two people talking about it. But if a lot of people suffer in silence, who's the onus on, like, to so there's no silence? Is it on people to ask the person, or is it on the person that's suffering to speak?
Both. But if I am going off my first thought, it would be the person who's suffering to speak. My husband and I had been married for 16 years when I had my what I call a mental breakdown. And he knew that I'd suffered with depression. He knew that I'd go through pretty major mood swings here and there. And we just kind of existed. We just kind of lived with it. And when I had that mental episode, and I went through a lot of therapy, it was up to me to educate him, because he does not suffer with PTSD. He does not have anxiety and depression. I would say he has a little anxiety, but I'm not a doctor. But, you know, I just feel things on a much deeper level. So if I'm anxious, I'm really anxious. And I had to learn about it first so then I could tell him about it. But I had to be willing to learn about it. And that's where change happens. Someone asking you about it is not going to stop. You're just going to, there's a part of me that says in your darkest day, you'd be like, oh, you're finally noticing, or, oh, great, now everybody knows. It could be bad. But if that person is like, hey, I'm really fucking struggling mentally right now, and like I feel like I need to talk to somebody. I feel like there's so much energy in me, I just need to let it out. And then help can show itself. I mean, your friends, I doubt, would ignore you. And if they do, they're not your friend. You know? Yeah. No, it can be really important, and I'm glad that you have a podcast where you're going to talk about some of these things. Yeah. Because I think in our society, people don't talk about them enough. Agreed. And I think the lack of them being talked about is what causes people to not want to talk about. It's like a cycle. Yeah. Like, because they're not talked about, it's seen as taboo to talk about them. Whereas if you just talk about it, like, maybe people are going to be okay with it and have some good, helpful ideas, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it won't be as bad as you think to talk about it. Maybe it'll help you feel better. Yeah, I believe that. I do believe that. I believe the more you do talk about it, and the more you talk about your experiences to someone, in my case, a professional, the less power they have over your brain. You can retrain your brain to think positively, but you just got to put in work. It's just like working out your body. I'm not going to be, I have like great calf muscles if I don't go and work out. I'm not going to have great mental health, the best I can possibly be without working on it. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of therapy and a huge fan of discussing that it's okay to ask for help. And yeah, we all struggle.
Yeah, that's a show I would like to do, is just a round table where people talk about mental health and struggling, like, because it's a real thing. You brought up something, I didn't plan on asking this, but I mentioned earlier you had to balance being a mom with comedy. You've also on the show we've talked about people balancing a relationship. Like what's that been like to balance a marriage while doing stand-up comedy, because it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah. I think you really have to have a partner, and I make a lot of fun of him on stage, but we're tight. Like we're buddies. We are best friends. And I know that sounds so cliche, but we really are. We have each other's backs. He knows how much comedy means to me, and I'm so grateful that he is okay with the amount of time that I've been gone and that I will be gone. But if I was a dude, it would kind of be more socially acceptable, like I was providing for my family. So I've always struggled with that, and it's affected the relationship, of course, but we talk about it and we're fine. Me and him are really good, but we were pretty good before I started comedy. Like we had already been together a number of years before I started comedy. So it's not like he got into the marriage and this is just who I am. I became that person, and I'm just grateful that he's been along for the ride. He's my biggest fan. He's fucking awesome, but you've got to have a good relationship for it to work. I don't know how single parents do it. I know there's a few, but I don't know how they do it. There's a few comics that are single parents that continue to work.
Chelsea was just on the show.
I know, she's amazing. She's amazing.
I think you're both amazing. Because I have myself, and I can barely take care of myself.
Yeah.
And you guys have kids and families, but it is interesting. I was just talking with Paul Conyers a couple episodes ago, because he started comedy after being in his relationship. Was it like how? Was there a point where your husband was like, all this open micing, did the shows come soon enough?
Yeah, he hated it. I mean, it was tough. I'd be leaving Tuesdays and Thursdays every week, and then going to the clubs on the weekends just to show my support, or like see another comic that I knew, or hope that maybe I could get a guest spot. Oh God, those years were tough. And then it's just the environment. Like he would show up to a show and people didn't know that was my husband. And there's a lot of humor that's thrown back between comics that know each other. And when he sees one of my guy friends in comedy talking shit to me, like he would take that shit personal in the beginning. So, it was tough, but, like I said, we're real supportive of each other, and I'm real supportive of his hobbies as well. So we find a balance.
That's really cool. I think unless we open up talking about more mental health, which I could go for hours, that's everything. Yeah. That's everything I prepared to ask you. Is there anything I'm not smart enough that you want to talk about?
You're amazing. Stop.
No, I mean. No.
We're good.
Sometimes I don't think of everything.
Yeah, well, I think we should wrap it up. I can hear my family getting restless. I have to go make dinner.
Okay. Do you have time for rapid fire questions really quick?
Okay.
Okay. When you put on a bra, do you put it on and snap it in front and spin it, or do you do the unnatural arm thing?
Nope, I do the unnatural arm thing. But lately I'm just doing sports bras, so thank you, COVID.
Yeah, I think
those are amazing.
The biggest thing from COVID is sports bras forever.
Yep.
How high is too high for high heels?
Oh, I'm a flats person. I have circle feet. If you looked at my feet, you might liken them to an elephant trunk, like an elephant foot. So yeah, flats for me. But how high is too high? It's never too high. I love going. I've been to drag shows. I love going to drag shows, and I keep the higher the better. The higher the better.
I can't. 7 is too high. That's my number.
Okay.
6 is great. 7 is ridiculous. If you were performing tonight, what would your walk-up song be?
WAP. The WAP.
What's your favorite recurring show to perform in?
My favorite recurring show to perform at. I love the Punchline when they have the showcase nights.
Oh,
Yeah, that's really fun. Really fun. You get to see a lot of new comics that are just now, it's cool. That's my favorite one.
I'd love to be in it. It is a fun one. What is your favorite venue to perform at?
Laughs Unlimited.
What is the funniest thing an audience member has ever said to you after a show?
Oh, I had a show, or I had a joke about shaving down there, of course, and the joke was that I shave it like a runway, like it's just a one strip, like a runway. And after a show, some guy came out and he was like he was like a airplane, and he's all, guess what I am? And I'm all, what? And he's all, I'm a airplane looking for a landing strip. And I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, that was probably the funniest.
Okay. Who is your favorite comic?
My favorite comic. Let's see. God. I mean, George Carlin comes to mind first if I'm going old school. Definitely George Carlin. And nowadays, it's funny. I'm a big fan of Bert Kreischer. He just reminds me so much of my husband and like his friend group. And I like the Tom Segura and the Berts. I'm into those right now. But I think Kevin Hart is brilliant. Every special I've seen, I feel like they get better and better, and I don't feel like you see that often. And so he'd be my favorite, like, trending comic, and Dave Chappelle would be my favorite meaningful comic.
I don't think you can go wrong with any of those answers. What is your least favorite kid show?
Kid show?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, any kid show. Fuck kid shows. I'm done. I've put in my time twice. I'm good.
Do you have a favorite adult show that's disguised as a kid show?
Bob's Burgers.
Okay.
I missed the bus on that. I know Cheryl the Soccer Mom, it's like her favorite show. But I missed I'm just now getting into that.
Who is your favorite all-time San Francisco 49er?
Oh, my all-time?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to piss people off with this. If you go statistic-wise, it's got to be Montana. But if you go radically change the nation-wise, I'm going to go with my boy Kaepernick.
Wow.
He's been my favorite football player just for what he gave up and what he's done and what he continues to do.
Right, and continues to have to give up. What is your favorite thing about the existence of brunch?
That I don't get invited to that because my friends don't do brunch. And that means that I'm in an older group now, and I'm completely okay with that.
Oh, I was going to invite you to brunch, but I won't.
I would be wasted. I don't drink alcohol, but I would at brunch, and it would ruin my entire fucking day.
Okay.
That's how old I am.
Don't come to my brunch. I get you're the only person I'll ever say that to, unless you want to, and then just have virgins. It's a good drag show. It's a good drag show.
I'm just not a brunch person.
Fair enough.
I know.
Do you have a favorite sex position?
It's these days any and all.
Same. Do you cook or bake?
Yes, both.
Ooh, which do you like more?
Cooking.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
DC or Marvel?
Whatever Wonder Woman is a part of.
That's DC.
Okay.
If
DC.
we are, okay, I think you just answered this one, but if we're at the bar after a show and someone's buying us shots, what are we shooting?
Something sweet, like the blowjob shots,
Okay.
those with the whipped cream on top.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're shooting.
Okay.
No hands.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. Toilet paper, over or under? This is the most important question, Steph.
I have no preference. I don't care. It is weird. I know. I am diagnosed with obsessive compulsive like I have a form of OCD, but that doesn't affect me at all.
But you have
It's
to.
weird.
You don't care.
I know.
It's just whatever.
No, I don't care either way
Okay.
at all.
Okay. I don't know how to handle myself.
But if someone wants to chew their food in the same room as me with their mouth open or crunch, I'll lose my shit.
it's so hard to get when it's under. Okay.
Don't bug me.
Do you have a favorite drag queen?
A favorite drag queen
Mm-hmm.
or favorite drag king?
Both. So who's your favorite queen?
You,
Oh, thank you.
of course.
I don't.
And
deserve it,
favorite drag king would be Emma Haney. Has she done it yet? She
No.
needs to get out there.
but she does.
Emma
she,
Haney would be my favorite drag king.
She needs to get out there. She needs a name so we can start using it, and she needs to
Yes.
get out there and perform.
Yes.
Yes. And we'll let her know.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think I'm pretty?
You're gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, and final question. Once this is over and we have a new normal or an old normal or just a normal, just something, what's the first thing you want to do?
Go to a concert. I want to go to live music. I miss it so much.
Okay.
Yeah. Live music.
Steph Garcia, that's all my questions. Thank you to your family for waiting for dinner. Thank you to you.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
will not invite you to brunch, but I will invite you to a drag show sometime.
Okay, I will go to that.
And I can't wait to talk to you more about mental health and keep following your podcast and everything you do.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, and we're going to see each other at Stab
Yes.
when
for sure.
everything's back to normal.
Yep, I'll get a hold of Jesse.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, peers and queers, that's Steph Garcia. You can find her on TikTok. We displayed her handle. Do follow her. Do find her. And when things are back to normal, she's working on something special, she said. So make sure you see that. And with that, we're going to round out the show with our own OCD, in-house OCD haver, actor, producer, whatever he is, David Shapiro. Hey, David, how are you?
Hey, Suzette, how are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm okay.
Thank you for asking. I'm, whatever. So, crazy week politically, and I wanted to talk about something I posted on Facebook about, which is if something's happening in the world, right, and you look around and the Nazis are on one side, or really anybody that hates Jews is on one side of the fight, that side is the wrong fight. And I know you might be like, well, you're biased because you're Jewish, David. And
Yeah, you
yes,
are.
full disclosure, that I am. But here's the thing. As a Jewish person, as a Jewish individual, as a Jewish man, I see, I don't know how to say it. Like, I haven't been here for all of history, but I've learned about things, the Spanish Inquisition, the Nazis, the Third Reich, white supremacists, the KKK, all these people hated the Jews, right?
Mhm.
And they all hated other people. So that's what I'm really saying, is we're not, they hate, if somebody comes for the Jews, then they're going to come for everybody else. I don't know why. I'm not sure why we're like the Phil Coulson of the hate world. Like, I don't know why we're the 1 degree away, like, hate us and then you'll hate other people. But it seems like we are, right? Like, if people hate Jews, then they will hate everybody, right? Like, look at the white supremacists that did, the terrorist attack on Capitol Hill. They were wearing shirts that said like 6 million wasn't enough, which is to reference the Holocaust, saying 6 million Jews dying wasn't enough, which is a heinous thing to say. Like, who else would wear a shirt saying that enough of your people didn't die? Only bigoted bad people would, right? So that's my point. My point is, these people are awful, they're terrible, and they want Jews to die, so you can expect that they want other people that are unlike them, and in this case, they believe they're the master race, which I saw a lot of the jaw lines and the teeth, and, like, that was not the master race committing a terrorist attack on the Capitol. That was, like, yeah, I don't know what that was, but it wasn't the master race. There is no master race, is the thing. We're all humanity, and the sooner that we blend together, the better, really. That's just the truth. Like, that's the direction we're going, and that's an evolved state, you know? So, back to my point.
Thank you.
The KKK, they were terrible, right? They hated Jews. They hated other people. The Nazis hated Jews. They hated other people. These white supremacists hate Jews. They hate other people. So it's a canary in a coal mine, right? So if somebody hates Jews, you can expect they're going to hate everybody, and that, to me, that's always been an indicator, right? Like, I've always known, like, this is like back in 2016. I was like, I can see it. I can see the anti-Semitism coming from this political party. There's going to be and they hide behind this whole, like, we support Israel. Nah, not really. Not really, you don't. And then also on top of that, like, does that mean you support Jews, or you politically support the idea of an Israeli state? Because that's a different thing, right? Like, supporting Israel does not mean you support Jewish people, you know? And we're not Thor. This isn't the end of Ragnarok. But, like, the Jewish people are Israel, right? Like, and I'm not Israeli. So, like, any Israelis watching this, like, please don't hate me. Obviously, I don't represent Israel. But what I'm saying is, Israel was formed on the basis of, this is where the Jewish people are. This is the homeland, right? So, back to my point.
Yes.
In the future, anyone watching this, if you see someone coming down the street and they're anti-Semitic, they're a bad guy, right? Now, this is important. Not all Jews are good guys. Ben Shapiro, he's Jewish. He has my last name. I hate that he has my last name. I don't like him at all. He's a bad person. He is not a good Jew. There are other bad Jews too. Not all Jews are good, right? And not all people that hate Jews... No, it is. All people that hate Jews are bigoted, bad people. Yeah, that's my point, actually. I can't go against that, because that's what I'm saying. So, not all Jews are good, right? Some people hate Jews for reasons that aren't, I hate everybody, but it's the gateway drug for hating everybody. They're gonna hate everybody eventually, because they hate Jews. Why? Most of them don't even know. Some people think that we killed their savior 2,000 years ago. I don't know. Look here, white people. You did a lot of atrocities in the last 2,000 years also. So, you know, like, maybe, I'm not saying we did. I'm not taking culpability for killing a savior. I'm just saying, if we did, it's not like you have a glowing record, you know, white guy from Kentucky, in the last 2,000 years, your particular family and race, like, probably a lot of dark chapters in that. So, you know, throwing stones in glass houses. Yeah. So this is rambly. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know quite how. I should have thesis this. I should have streamlined this. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll record later and try again.
No.
I don't know. How is it for now? Are you okay with it for now?
I think it's a good stopping point. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that's my thought. My thought is, if anyone hates Jews, you know they're a bad person. You shouldn't like that person.
Noted.
Not one Jew. If they hate one, that's an important distinction to make. If they hate one Jew, right? Mm-hmm. Like Ben Shapiro. I hate Ben Shapiro. I'm not a white supremacist because I hate Ben Shapiro. I hate Ben Shapiro because he's a garbage person. But if I hate Ben Shapiro because he's a Jew, or I hate all Jews, then you could say I'm a garbage person, right? But I'm not, because I don't hate all types of one people, except all types of white supremacists, I guess, which that opens up an interesting theory of, if you hate which hates you, does that make you as hateful as the hater? You know, I'm sure there's a philosopher out there that could get into this, but I don't know. They hated me first, so that's I'm confused now. I'm not confused, but I'm confused because you know what I mean. The thing is, Suzette, I say I hate you.
You do,
but I don't. It's playful hate. It's a loving hate. I hate you because I love you.
I love you too.
And because you're a lovable hot mess. And how does one not hate a lovable hot mess?
Well,
right?
Thanks.
That's all I got this week. It was a weird week. I just want to let people know in the future to watch out for Jew haters, because if they hate Jews, they hate yous. That should be on a shirt. People should, if they hate Jews, they hate yous.
You should learn to say it first.
I'm trying to think of, like, if they hate something, they hate me. But like, seriously, go back through time. You know, Antiochus, bad dude. Who is? I'm trying to think of another. Haman. Haman was a bad dude. We've talked about Haman on this segment.
Yes.
Haman was a bad dude. So throughout the Spanish Inquisition was a bad Inquisition.
Yes.
So, watch it, and people out there, that's how you can tell if someone's going to be a bad person. They're going to hate Jews. They're going to hate yous. And Suzette, I say I hate you because it's habit. But in this segment, I will end with I adore you. And thank you for having me on. I hope you have a good, safe rest of your week.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank
and
you.
I don't hate you, I guess, either. Bye. Okay. That was David Shapiro. That was the show. Thank you to Clifton, to Mean Dave, to Chelsea, to Steph Garcia, to David Shapiro, to Jesse, to Stab, to all the viewers for watching. Join us next week on the 24th with Woo Woo Monroe. Let me say that again. Woo Woo Nope. One more time. Woo Woo Monroe. There it is. Okay. See you next Sunday. Bye.
The city's your playground, I watch you take a bite. At 5 a.m. roaming the streets, drunk all night. You think you're hot shit, and ooh, I love it, yeah, yeah. Stumbling, but yeah, you're still looking hella fun. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll make you mine. Well, you're a hot mess, and I'm falling for you, and I'm like, hot damn, let me make you my boo.
Well, thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. That's it for Stab. Let's see if there's some place that we can send you guys. Oh, there's all sorts of stuff going on. How about KO Comedy over at Comedy Hub? Why not? And I will see you in the morning for some office hours, if you want to. Otherwise, hold on for the rate.